Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video to the channel. So in this video, we're going to break down the brand new woodcutting and smithing money making methods in two videos. Now this one is going to be mainly around the smithing side, looking at the bolt tips, the bolts as well, to see how much profit that currently is. Now before we get started, you're going to need a level 100 smithing to do this, and the ability to make primal bars. As you can see by my info, I've already gone and bought some primal ores to go and price check. And before we get started, I wanted to just say, if you're ever going to go and mine these, please go and check prices before going to mine for certain ores. Now, even though all these ores require the same level to go and mine, prices are drastically different. And as you can see here, Promethium has sold for just under 30k, and something like a Crotonium ore is just over 15,000. So that is basically double the price for doing a Promethium ore for the same requirements as opposed to a Crassium ore. Again, these won't always be the same prices as well, so that's why you need to just do a quick price check to see which one is selling for the most and hold the price. Because these items are still quite limited coming into the game, you can hold the price and always make sure to get the most for it. However, with that being said, I've gone and price checked all these ores. Now these are instant buy prices. You can get them cheaper if you're going to buy them over time and try and find the lowest buy price for that. But currently for all the ore prices, it's just over 220,000 gold for that. And you got to remember as well, that's going to make you 5 primal bars. So roughly in terms of price, you're looking about 45k each per primal bar. And that's without the buff of actually making more primal bars anyway. But if you were to buy primal bar on the Grand Exchange, it's going to be currently a price of, let's just price check that, 38k. So currently as it stands, you're probably not going to make much profit turning the ores into primal bars. Obviously, I've instant bought these. You can get them cheaper if you can bring the prices down, especially on the ones which are quite heavily over mid. So your Promethium, you've got Catagon as well, and Fractite. If you can get them more towards the 20k and start trimming down on your cost of ores, you do have a chance of making primal bars as well. Primal bars can actually be a solid way to make some profit if you have the level and if you have all the buffs available as well. Don't forget, you do have a chance of making extra primal bars. But we're going to work off a price for a primal bar currently at, let's just say 39k for ease of all of the sort of money making methods we're going to look at as well. But again, if you ever wanted to make primal bars, it is a way to make profit. You just need to check your prices and try and hold your prices as well to get a little bit more profit. So what we're going to do is go to Fort Room 3, and with this update of Fletching, it's brought in another sort of set of items which the primal bars can now be smithed into. So we'll go and check the smithing interface, and that's what we're going to focus on this episode, is the smithing side. And then tomorrow we're going to look at the bows, the crossbows, and all the other different bits and pieces which have been released from this update. Now in terms of an update, it's been quite drastic and quite sort of ladled with content, and a pretty well done update as well. Considering it's only one sort of tier of tree they've released and very limited on what they've done in terms of the primal stuff, it's still quite decent in terms of that as well. So the things we're going to concentrate on here are the primal arrowheads, the bolt tips, as well as the limbs as well. So we're going to smith one of each, and then we can just see roughly how much that is going to be in terms of profit as well. We'll probably have a little go at making some arrows and bolts as well, because I do think they've had a little bit of a nerf and dropped in price because of that as well. So I'm just going to go and make one of each. We'll get them smithed, and then we'll come back and we'll go through the profit or the loss of each and what we can expect to get from each of these bars. So in terms of XP, 700 XP for a bar is actually not horrific. Again, things like bolt tips and arrow tips from like the rune smithing, it is quite easily one of the most AFK and pretty decent ways to like train smithing if you don't want to pay attention to the screen at all as well. And not to mention, because of how often the XP drops are here, if you're doing something like wrapping paper or some other stuff, it is really good for that as well. Now, the primal hatchet is one which probably won't sell. Very similar to how the pickaxe was on the day. The amount of supply which has come in is just quite considerable. So they don't really sell because people have already upgraded their stuff already. Right, so those are the three things already done. We'll go to the Grand Exchange now to see what kind of price is as well. I'll just sell one of the arrow tips and the bolts as well, because we'll try and fletch them and see if that's going to be a decent price as well. So if we were to sell one of these and just see what the price can go for. So that goes for 788 coins each. So if we were just to change that to 788, 57k. So turning that primal bar 38k into 57 for something so like AFK and just something you can have doing on the side as well, it's actually pretty decent. And I imagine the bolts are going to be a similar sort of way. If we just sell one of those and just check what that price is. 672, so not as good as what the arrow tips are, which is a little bit surprising. But again, that will still make you some profit compared to what we've just bought that for as well. That's going to be about 10k profit, and the arrow tips are probably going to be about 20k profit per bar, but it's still pretty decent anyway. The limbs I am interested in because, again, the crossbows, we're not quite sure what that is. So the limbs aren't really worth it, but I imagine that's going to have to be a process which we're going to go through tomorrow's video and sort of go through, like, once the crossbow's been turned into an actual crossbow and maybe upgraded once or twice, that's when you're going to get your profit from the limbs as well. So it's nice really that Primal has given us that version of AFKing like dart tips and arrowheads. So like I said, the arrowheads are going to be the best one out of two for now. But again, keep checking your prices because I'm pretty sure they will be changing over time as well. Now, what we can do, just to see if there is some profit in there as well, once I find my logs, we can see if turning these into the actual darts or the actual arrows is going to make us some profit. So it seems that even with primal bolts, we're going to have to make the headless arrow shafts no matter what. So that's not too bad. So we'll craft some of these now. So the shafts are there. And I price checked these earlier on. The Eternal Magic Logs are roughly about 5.5k each, which is not a horrific price for like how AFK they are. I'm just surprised that they've been outperformed by Elder Logs. Elder Logs seem to have bounced and gone up a bit in price. I would have just thought that these, because they're a high level and stuff, would have just outperformed them. But again, I suppose people who would have brought the Elder Log supply in have now moved, so the Elder Log supply has been limited as well. So it's quite an interesting one to see, and definitely something we'll have a look at going forward as well. So I'm going to make one set of primal arrows, and then I'm going to make one set of primal bolts. So if we go and throw these on the Grand Exchange, it appears that these will not sell. So then this, in terms of money making method video, really is only limited to the smithing side. Like, I don't think producing them into the arrows or the bolt tips are really going to bring you much in terms of profit if that's what you're looking for as well. If you're looking for pure sort of XP, I imagine these primals, I'll just check again. The XP you're going to get, yeah, is going to be pretty crazy and pretty decent as well. But in terms of smithing, it's going to be a really nice AFK way to do some bolt tips and do some arrow tips as well. A real upgrade on the rune bars, which I think rune bars are slowly going to start to like die a death because people are going to now upgrade it to a higher tier. Really good way for you to do some AFK smithing members. Obviously, the requirements is quite high. Tier 100 for smithing is pretty high to get to. But if you're looking for a way to AFK your smithing training or just do something on the side which is going to make a little bit of money, it can be really good as well. Normally, the primal bars are a lot better and a lot more profitable as well. So you can combine both the smithing and smelting to make even more money on the side as well. But like I said earlier on, this is going to be part one. Tomorrow, we're going to delve into the actual fletching side. So we're going to make the crossbows, short bows, arrows, arrow tips, all that sort of stuff as well. To sort of balance out this update and see how good the fletching side is going to be as well. The addition of the smithing stuff is good. Again, it's just a nice look, sort of like way to flesh out the primal smithing. And it's a nice little way to make some GP if you've got the ability to, and to AFK pretty hard as well. But that's going to be the end of this video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to leave me a like, subscribe to the channel. For the rest of this year, we're going to be catching up on series and throwing in some extra money makers as well. So if you are looking forward to that, again, subscribe to the channel because we will be coming with plenty more videos now we're back and catching up. But thank you guys for watching once again. I'll see you guys very soon in the next video.